just turning down into Hopetoun, who knows how it's said yet. And first bit of hard work, look at this. That's quite inventive, isn't it? Anyway, we're about 20 k's away from Hopetoun, so we'll check in again. And of course with the name Delilah, which literally means Wales. How could I not go there? So effectively I would have done the Nullarbor in 2 days. Quite famous. Yeah, they really got some nice beaches. So we're just coming into Hopetoun now, and got a nice information board here, a bit of detail, and there's a map on the other side. If I just flip this around, you can see, I believe that's Mount Barren, or East Mount Barren. We can climb that. Apparently it's about 2 hours return, and that's Fitzgerald National Park. You can see. So yeah, we're gonna pop down now. Apparently there's quite a few lookouts and things to look out from in Hopetoun. So we'll be along the coast then. We're gonna go along the coast a little bit and then cut up north through Fitzgerald National Park, go around the outside of the park because there's no tracks through the middle, and go around the other side to Bremer Bay. We're gonna find something to eat first, mind. Alright, let's get into it. Welcome to Hopetoun. Just stopping for a bit of lunch in Hopetoun, which is how you pronounce it, by the way. I've just been told it's named after one of the guys that founded the place, Hopetoun. So, nice town. Right on the beach here. It extends back somewhat. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. There's Jeep. I've just ordered some local fish, which is a snapper. Got my English breakfast tea, and I just bought some After Sun because, oopsie, I got myself burned yesterday. All over the shoulders, my feet, and the knees. So yeah, I'm expecting in the next couple of days, especially if I do the walk up the Bluff Knoll, that my feet are going to start. You know, I don't know if you've ever had it before, but when you get really bad sunburn and then you do a lot of exercise, the sweat builds up underneath the skin and it looks like a big blister. It's absolutely horrid. But I'm fully expecting that to happen. I am trying to treat it with moisturizer and After Sun. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but well, only time will tell. So you might be able to see from here that with all the weight in the back of the Jeep, that it's sitting slightly lower on the back, which means when I look out the back the window mirror, back window mirror, you can't see that far behind you because the front is sitting up, the nose is up. Now I might have to have this looked at if it becomes an issue, but it's only a very slight kind of incline up in the front. I was told that the suspension would settle a little bit, and I think it has now truly settled, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, but yeah, otherwise Delilah's looking really good. The Chaos boxes on the top have been really good. They're 95 litres, slimline. As you can see, they're not as slim as I thought, and they don't actually hold as much as I would have liked either, but they've been really good. The snapper arrived. Look at that. That looks fantastic. Let's get into it. Well, that was fantastic. So just leaving Hopetoun now to go up through Fitzgerald National Park and pop out the other side and go down then to Bremer Bay. Hopetoun's been a beautiful little place to stop. Perhaps, you know, I'm 50-50 on whether or not I should have spent the night there. But very beautiful spot. It's really hot today again, and everywhere that I'm sunburned is really irritating me. So I'm a little bit kind of, you know, antsy. I just want to be in the car while it's nice and cool. I went for a couple of walks down to the beaches, as you've seen, and you know, even with the t-shirt, I can feel my shoulders burning. So yeah, I'm minded just to go to Bremer Bay, and hopefully by the time I get there, it's starting to cool down a wee bit, and I'll be a little bit less antsy. There is a walk you can do in the national park. East Mount Barren, which is that big one in front of us. Apparently it's a 2-hour walk. I'll gauge it weather-wise and how I'm feeling by the time we get there. I might possibly do the walk. I might maybe leave my camera in the car, just because the straps will really grind into my skin that's already sunburned. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we're aiming to get to Bremer Bay by the end of today. As long as all the paths through the national park are open, it shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so Fitzgerald National Park, here we come. Guessing that might be East Mount Barren. And now entering the national park. Well, there's the magic camera 500 meters ahead. We're gonna have to stop. I can see what's coming up ahead, and it's fantastic, but I'll just switch you around. This is the little warning cliffs. Warning. Then we come around to this lookout. Very nice lookout it is too. Look at these views. So there's Hopetoun. You can see over there on the other side of this bay. We've just followed that road to cut across the causeway there and then up this hill. What a fantastic spot, eh? Fitzgerald National Park is proven to be quite a beautiful area. Hopetoun, I might be back here. Just the other side, we got that. There's a campsite down there which is run by National Parks and Wildlife. It says at the entrance that booking online is essential. There's not much phone signal here, so I don't see how you can do that. These little red flowers. Against my better judgment, I decided to walk up East Mount Barren. I've left all my bags and stuff in the car this time. Just bringing water and my spot, just in case. I mean, just look at this. This is about halfway up, maybe, if I'm lucky. Fantastic. Greetings for the top of East Mount Barren. This park is seriously underestimated. It's beautiful. Alrighty, so it's corrugated roads from now on until we join back up with the National Highway. So we're just driving through Fitzgerald National Park, and I've just got to say it is one of the most underrated national parks I've ever been to. It is amazing. It's got beaches, it's got mountains, it's got shrubs, it's got, you know, it's got everything. Honestly, I've been to some national parks, like the ones on Kangaroo Island, for example, which are fantastic. But this one, seriously, knocks their socks off. You know, obviously it's personal taste. Seriously, I love this national park. All it needs is some sealed roads into places to get down to like that ridge line, and it would just be like one of the best ones in Australia, in my opinion. So we're just about to rejoin National Highway 1. We're still on unsealed roads at the moment, but we just come out of Fitzgerald National Park. I've got to say, the drive up through the middle of the park there was absolutely fantastic. That park is seriously underrated. You know, anybody with a 4x4, it is an absolutely fantastic park. Two-wheel drives, it's good up until East Mount Barren. Then it goes quite severely corrugated. With a little bit of extra investment and a few more sealed roads, accessing some of the peaks down there and some of the other beaches to the west of the national park. In my opinion, it could be the best national park in Australia, or at least the best one that I've seen so far. It is absolutely fantastic. It's got beaches, it's got peaks, you know, nature in abundance. It is seriously good. The only thing not going for it, I guess, is that it's quite remote. It's quite far away from Perth and any other major kind of residence block. But look, if you're going on your travels down to the southwest corner of WA, certainly if you're on your way to Esperance, check out Fitzgerald National Park. It's honestly, it is worth it. It is fantastic. Well, good morning from Bremer Bay. I got in late last night, chopped out the swag, got something to eat, and went to bed. I'll just give you a little look around. This is me swag. I got windows to leave around to let the air go through. And I got my old quilt, which is doubled up to act as a sleeping bag, but with a lot more room. So today we'll be exploring around Bremer Bay and the western end of Fitzgerald River National Park. I slept quite well last night. I got up at midnight for a toilet break, but apart from that, slept right through. Right, let's get after it. Morning. Like I said, I arrived here late last night, so I'll just run you through my quick setup. So here's the Jeep. I've had the solar panels out this morning for about an hour, and it's charged the battery up from 63 to 78. It's been quite cloudy, so yeah, not too bad. So it's my swag, and this is the hiker fly from Wellstead, which is the smaller of the two. I've also got these tent poles from Wellstead as well. They're extendable, 2.6 meters. I normally have it connected up to the car just for extra stability, but I'm going to leave it here for the day today, so just got guy ropes coming off. You can see on the side of the car here, these are the 23-0 kitchen caddies. Should have just used to cook breakfast, and it's a cutlery one that actually rolls up and goes in the lower pocket. It's quite handy. This is the Hyperflame that I've just been using. The small Coles 1.25 litre gas. As you can see, the back is still pretty crammed, but I will try and sort that. Right, so today we're going to do West Mount Barren after doing East Mount Barren yesterday, and then we're going to return here tonight to stay here before heading up to the Stirling Ranges tomorrow. Yeah, had a good night's sleep in the swag. Camp kitchen's just the other side of the tennis courts there. All in all, good night's sleep. Let's get on with it. One thing to note yesterday, after driving through Fitzgerald River National Park, the license plate holder on the back fell off, so I had to stop and fix that. As you can see, these little white little buffers which hold the screws, this one is gone completely, so I'm going to have to try and find a screw long enough to go into that, because this corner one here keeps coming loose. So I'm going to need to fix that, because if this falls off, it's going to be a bit of a headache to try and fix that. It took me about an hour to put it back on yesterday, because these small little bolts at the back had to come off to access the screws that are behind the plate. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so we just re-entered Fitzgerald River National Park, this time on the western end, heading towards West Mount Barren. Yesterday we were on the eastern side of the park and we did East Mount Barren. Apparently on the western edge there is more or less a mirror copy of the mountain, but on the western side. So we're going to go check that out. We're probably about 30 minutes out, so we'll touch base again at the bottom of the mount. And it's nice to be back in the park. The weather today, it's about 21 degrees Celsius. It's cloudy. There's a slight chance of showers, but I don't think it'll amount to much today, to be honest. It might even burn off by this afternoon, but we'll see. It's been steadily warming up. Yeah, when I woke up, it was only 15 degrees, and it's been steadily rising to 21 now. In Australia, it tends to get at its hottest point around 3 p.m. All right, so we'll talk again when we're a bit closer. So this section of road is a lot worsely corrugated than the one yesterday. So don't know if you'll be able to see, but the corrugation waves are approximately half a meter between, which means it's very rough going. Oh, here we are. We've just arrived. Whew. Yes, that track we just came up for the last 42 kilometers or so. It's been pretty badly corrugated, like it seriously needs to be graded. If you've got a 4x4, yeah, you get out with no problems, but if you're in a two-wheel drive, you might struggle a little bit. Suspension might give you a bit of a bumpy ride, and corrugations have a weird kind of effect on nuts and bolts and things like that. The specific vibrations of certain corrugations can work nuts loose. So it's a good idea when you do get to the end. I'm certainly going to check now, but when I get back to base at the end of this as well, I'll be certainly checking all the major bolts just to make sure none of them have worked their way loose. Well, okay, we're about to set off up to the top of West Mount Barren, which is basically identical to East Mount Barren that we did yesterday, but this one is on the west side of Fitzgerald River National Park. There's a lot of flies around, so I'm quite keen to get going. But before I go, since this is quite a remote spot and the route in, you'll be able to see somebody coming in from miles away because of the dust that it gives up, not to mention the corrugations. And I'm the only one here. I've set up the solar panels. The sun, when it comes out, is absolutely blazing. I've just put some sun cream on and covered up nicely. Yeah, I've locked everything up, and look, if it gets nicked, it gets nicked. But sometimes you just got to do these things, you know. So according to the sign over here, it says to allow 2 to 3 hours. It's 360 meters, which is a little bit taller than the eastern one. Just see here, this is a class 4, the other one was a class 3. Unlike yesterday, I'm taking a lot of stuff with me this time, rather than just a bottle of water. Allow 2 hours, 361. Moderately difficult walk to the summit. You'll be rewarded with sweeping views of Bremer Bay, blah 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 blah. Carry, it says, recommends 2 to 3 litres per person depending on the weather. I'm taking about 1.5 litres. I don't anticipate it taking a full 2 hours to get up and down. But yeah, dieback is a bit of a problem. Phytophthora dieback is killing off native plants, so to stop the spread of Phytophthora, we got these little boot washing stations. Obviously there's no water, but you know, you just in case you're carrying any dirt on the soles of your shoes, which might have Phytophthora kind of deposits on them. And to start off with, you know, we've got this boardwalk and a little warning sign saying cliff risk area. Be prepared for gust of winds, keep back from the edge. Well, I'm one of these people that is fully in favour of taking away all warning signs and letting natural selection do its course. But anyway, so we'll check in from a little bit further up, but yeah, shouldn't be too bad. We are quite remote here, mind, so I've got my spot identifier on the back, just in case I get into a bit of trouble or get bitten by a snake or something. I'm also wearing long trousers today to just to help with the scratches that I picked up yesterday, and also an extra kind of precaution against snakes, etc. All right, let's crack on. Okay, we're about halfway up at the moment. Still got a wee while to go to the top. I just thought I'd show you these. There's the sea out there. I don't know what this small mount is in front of us, but behind that is East Mount Barren, where we were yesterday. Oh. And you can just see in between these outliers how flat it is. That's the road we come in on there. It winds out and around and up. You can see just how remote we are. Just have to stop quickly because I've just noticed these different buds that you have. So around to show you what I mean. Seriously, look at these, like big barbs. These are seeds ready to open and drop, as are these tulip kind of shaped ones. So they start off like that and they dry out and then the seeds drop out. There's another one up there, which is a more evolved version of that, basically. But yeah, I just thought it was very interesting for you to see the different types. I'll do a little bit of research later to see if I can find out what is what. I'm sure there's a lot of botanists out there in Australia that can tell me in a blink of an eye. But yeah, I just find them fascinating, the different types. Something that I learned living on Kangaroo Island and going through the dramatic bushfires we had there last summer was that there are some native Australian plants that actually need fire in order to germinate. So fire is like part of the natural life cycle of some plants. However, it's the intensity and ferocity of the fires that is changing. In Indigenous people of Australia use fire as a way to manage the land. They do it in a responsible way. Burn back things in the winter when it's controlled and less intense. Help things germinate. Clear the scrub, the bush, the dead scrub, and let the new cycle of life begin. But of course, climate change is making these fires more intense, which actually burns so hot that it kills off the seeds that are lying just below the surface of the soil, meaning there's nothing to grow back afterwards. Oh look, so we just came across this goanna on the path. Means no harm. We mean no harm to him or her, I'm not sure. It looks very similar to the Rosenberg goannas we had on Kangaroo Island, but I'm not really sure. I'll have to double check later. He's probably just soaking up some of the warmth from the sun. I can't see any clear way around, so I'm going to have to disturb him, I'm afraid. But yeah, to give you an idea, he's just probably about 30 centimeters to 60 centimeters, so 1 to 2 feet long, maybe, something like that. I'm sure that as soon as I start to move towards him, he'll scamper off into the bushes. But yeah, there we are. That's what I'd quickly show you. Okay, so we just reached the top here of West Mount Barren. I'll show you the views in the middle in a minute. I just wanted to say one thing that probably doesn't get said enough when you're going up onto the hills or mountains is that you should always bring with you layers, because even in Australia, you know, where it's at the bottom it was blazing hot, at the top here it's quite windy, it's quite a cool wind, and something I learned in the army is, you know, take layers with you when you're moving, take layers off when you stop still, put them on. So I've got a wind cover which I'm just going to put on now because my back is absolutely sweating. And with the wind chill, that can quickly make you very, very cold. So I'm now going to put on my wind sheet just to keep myself warm on top of the hill. Now by putting on this layer, what it immediately does is it creates a little kind of layer of air in between the coat and your sweaty back or yourself. Takes the wind off straight away, so the wind's not going through you, it's not chilling you. And yeah, it's just good practice. Now I can sit here comfortably. The other thing it does is it pisses off the 100 flies that were feeding off the sweat on my back, because they now can't get to it. Alright, let's quickly turn you around. Okay, so that's looking towards Bremer Bay. Oh, that way maybe. This is the little peninsula that comes out just after the river. You can see the turquoise waters in that bay already. That looks quite tempting from up here. You can see there's a shimmer of turquoise following the bay all the way around. It really is a special place. And that's Bremer Bay over there. Big sand dunes off in the distance, I don't know what that is. And then you're back to pastoral there, and you can see off in the distance, way off in the distance, possibly, let's see if I can zoom in a wee bit. It's kind of like a silhouette of a mountain range, and that, I believe, is the Bluff Knoll in the Stirling Ranges. That's where we're heading either tomorrow or the day later, depending how we get on today. And yeah, that's the track we come in on. Yeah, so look, if you get a chance to come up here, I highly recommend it. It's now 1:30. and it was roughly 12:45 when I started. Stopped several times to video stuff, look at the goanna, etc. Just wanted another quick look at this dense vegetation. As far as the eye can see in some directions. And I mean, looking at the escarpments, like that, for instance, you know, if this was covered in grass instead of Australian shrub like it is, bush, you could easily be in parts of the UK, but on closer inspection, you know, it's quite obviously not. Oh, it looks like two kitty hawks there. I'm gonna see if I can get some photos. Okay, so this will be a real test of the audio and how this little thing does in the wind. Now, rather than using the lavalier, however you say it, lavalier mic, I've decided to use directly from the Rode Wireless 2 with this, I don't know what it's called actually, it's supposed to buffer the wind out. So we're going to give it a whirl. So yeah, look, I said throughout this series we're going to touch a little bit upon mental health. Men haven't got the best kind of record for talking about their mental health, and you know, until recently I was probably one of those. So for me, getting up onto the hills and the mountains, out into nature, is a huge tonic for me. I guess it's a little bit combined with that manual labour thing, you know, a little bit of exertion to work it, get your endorphins going and get your dopamine levels up. It's a similar kind of thing like that for me. I took up photography as a hobby back in 2013, and I used that as a reason to go out and see things across the UK when I lived there, and that just kind of fueled me. I mean, I grew up in the countryside, so I've always loved the great outdoors, but it just became a bit of a mission of me to see more of my own country, and it gave kind of like a meaning of purpose and meaning of life to me. Now, I've never been somebody that believes in God or any kind of type of religion. I won't go into that because my views on that would probably insult quite a lot of you. But look, I've always liked to think of myself as a very rational, very analytical type of person. And when you look at ourselves on this planet, and this planet in this solar system, and this solar system within this galaxy, and galaxy within the universe, you quickly realize that we are completely and utterly insignificant. Now, when you come to that rationale, then any kind of thought that you were put on this planet for a reason to do something special, blah, 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 that goes out the window. So you have to think to yourself, well, what is the meaning of life? Well, there is no meaning of life. There is none. Life is life. You know, do we wonder what the meaning of life is for a bee, or for a fly, or for a mosquito? No, exactly. So when you're faced with that, and effectively, you know, you come to the rationale that there is no meaning in life, then you've one of two courses open to you, as far as I can see them. One is, you know, to end it all, because what is the point in facing the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune? as Shakespeare once said. Or, and here's the important thing, you give yourself meaning, you find meaning. And for me, seeing how much beauty there is on this planet, both, in places and people, it just became an ambition of mine to see as much of it as I could before I died. That's nothing in that to feel sorry for me about. I like to think, as I said, I'm a very logical and very rational person. I'm not going to end it all, so I give myself purpose. I give myself a meaning of life. And my meaning of life is travel, is to see as much of this place as we can. Life is too short to be stuck behind a desk, or to be stuck in a supermarket, or behind a bar, or, whatever it might be. And, the recent kind of couple of years with COVID has put things into clear perspective for me that, we always think, oh, mañana, we'll put things off till tomorrow. We'll do them next year, or we'll save up for a bit longer. But, there's a reason there's sayings like carpe diem. We really have to just, kick ourselves and just go out there and do it. Like, don't get me wrong, every day I'm racked with imposter syndrome and things like this. I'm not good enough, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm going to lose money, blah, blah, blah. But, hey, look, so be it. I'm having fun, I'm enjoying things, I'm getting to see places like this. Obviously, I'm in a luxurious position to be able to, buy a Jeep, do it up, etc., go out and do these things, but you don't have to take the same course as me and abandon everything to just go off and see the world. You can do it weekend by weekend. You can see it afternoon. Just go look around your local neighborhood. Go like an hour outside your town. Get out into the countryside if you can. And I've done the whole budget traveling thing back in 2002 and then again in 2009. I did the backpacking thing, which was on a shoestring, and you work your way as you go in. Like here in Australia now, the last 4 places I've stopped, there's been job adverts up saying, desperately needed. People work behind the bar, people work in the counter, in the post office, things like this, And I'm sure as I work my way around the coast, and when we get into the school holidays, it's going to become very hard. You don't want to be competing with families and things to get camping spots, etc. So I might actually stop off in Bunbury over the Christmas period and work for a couple of months to supplement my income and then go again. There's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is just try, to give yourself purpose. That might be the same as me. That might be traveling. That might be seeing the world, meeting people, going to new places. Or it might not. The little things in life also please me. From time to time, I miss my old life back in Cardiff, in Wales, where I had a very large group of friends around me, and you could go into any one of several pubs any night of the week, and at least one of your mates would be in there, and you can have a pint with them. And that culture, that exact culture, doesn't really exist here in Australia. Yes, there's a drinking culture, but not the pub culture, as I would call it. Or maybe it's just because I haven't got that network of friends here that I had back home. But this, in my opinion, this is also a healthy option to get out into nature, do some walking, see the world. And just remember that, travel is the one thing you can spend money on that makes you richer. All right, enough waffle for me. So look, we're on the top of West Mount Barren. It's absolutely fantastic. A little bit longer than the East Mount Barren walk. This is, but bizarrely and quite somewhat ironically, given how remote this track is in comparison to the other one. East Mount Barren, for example, you could drive up to on a sealed road. Here it's heavily corrugated.
The path on the way up is very more clearly defined than it was on the East Mount Barren. Signposted every 100 meters or so. But I will say that both paths on East and West Mount Barren um, are a little overgrown and in need of trimming. I'm just going to sit here a little bit longer and soak up the views, and there's a few kitty hawks and other wildlife around, so I'm just watching the birds. The flies have taken a break. They're all sheltering from the wind on the rocks. So another thing that not many people tell you about, but if you ask anybody who have done any kind of outback adventures in Australia, is the flies. There are a ton of them. A ton of them. I have one of these fly masks to put on, but they do kind of heat you up quite a bit. And the flies aren't that incessant today. When you see me wearing the fly mask, you will know that, oh my God, the level of intensity of the flies has got to another level completely. Look at that one. He's absolutely huge. Well, isn't this view fantastic? This is looking eastwards towards East Mount Barren, where we were yesterday, and Hopetoun, which is right on the edge of the peninsula there. You can see off in the distance. Absolutely stunning. And then as we move south and look out towards the Southern Ocean, and then right around the other side here we've got golden bays and turquoise waters where the Fitzgerald River empties out into the ocean. And there's the peninsula, which I'll find out the name of later. And as we scroll around further, we look towards Bremer Bay and then further west towards Albany. Oh, fantastic. Just to give you an idea, this is kind of what the path is like in most parts. As I say, I could do like just a wee bit of trimming or more footfall, I guess, would help clear it out a wee bit. This is on the descent back down. These are the little markers, which are every 100 meters or so. Very well clearly defined, unlike East Mount Barren, where I only saw one marker, which is virtually at the top. Okay, so the route back down is going quite well. Take your time, mind, because there's a lot of loose rocks, and the bushes kind of you can catch your feet on them quite easily. So just take your time, and it's fine. And you know you've got these awesome views all the way down. Just make sure you got good footwear, because yeah. Boop. So here we are at the bottom again. Thoroughly enjoyed that walk. Really good. Very good, very good. Now, back here, you have to remember to clean your boots again, just in case you picked up anything on this trail and you're taking it out. Very important to do. Highly recommend this walk if you can get down to this car park. It is heavily corrugated road. And like I said, I strongly think that Fitzgerald River National Park is one of the most underrated national parks in Australia. If it had a little bit more investment, it could be the best park in Australia, I'm pretty sure. It is absolutely fantastic. But the roads need to be graded, if not sealed. I mean, if they sealed this road down here, for example, and created another one and going straight across the park there, you would have so many more visitors here. So many more. Anyway, I get this backpack off now because it's eating into my sunburned shoulders, something chronic. I picked up a nice roll from a local deli slash petrol station in Bremer Bay, and I'm going to get into it. That's what's left of the water that I took up under the hill. I was carrying another litre of water, which I haven't touched. So just take small sips all the way up. And I had quite a bit before setting off as well, so yeah, water is a necessity out here in Australia. So get into it. Oh, and remember to take all the rubbish off the mountain with you. Doesn't matter where on earth you are. That bring only thing you should be leaving behind. Footprints, I guess. For my rubbish on the trail, I've got this wheelie bin from Bush Ranger Gear, which I got from Snowy's. Snowy's, which is a great outdoors shop, by the way. And yeah, basically I use this half of it as my bin. This half I store my table, which is left of the campsite for now. You've got these clips. Oh, keep it shut. And then there's my bin. Below that I've actually got my sleeping bag at the bottom, emergency sleeping bag. In these side passions, I've got dirty laundry. It's going to get even more dusty, I know, but hey, it's going to be washed. So I'm only just trialing it in here. If it turns out that after washing they're still full of red dirt, then I'll put them somewhere else. And in here I'm just putting my recyclables bottles. And by recyclables I mean not just, you know, you can recycle them, but I am recycling them in that I have this system where when I get to somewhere that has potable water, i.e. drinking water, I fill up all the bottles I've got, and then I use them in rotation between the fridge and a cool bag that I've got. Now, the cool bag is wedged between the center console. It doesn't quite fit, but it kind of does the job. So basically what I do is I put the bottles in to make up space in the fridge / freezer, because the fridge operates better when it's full, and the freezer operates better when it's full. So I put the bottles in, then when they're frozen, I'll have to unzip that. So when they're frozen, I take them out and I put them into the cool bag, and then they act as coolers, and any extra water I put in there. Equally, when I'm taking food out to consume it, I take the water bottles out and put them back in, just to keep the fridge at capacity to help the cooling. Other than that, I've got my dry food in that tray there, dry and canned, and then I've just got this string just so I can let them breathe. I got some fruit and an onion, etc. One last thing before I snack is you can see that the solar panels charge the 500p to 99%. So now I'm going to take it off this and clamp it to the small battery I got in the back for the lights. So this basically is a battery out of a mobile mobility scooter that my friend gave to me. The solar blanket comes with a regulator and clamps. So essentially I'm just going to unplug it from the leads that go into the 500p and then clip it up to that just to charge it whilst I'm having my lunch. You can see the regulator measures in volts, and it's giving 13.7 volts into the battery. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so we're just leaving Fitzgerald River National Park for the last time on this trip anyway. Like I've said, Absolutely fantastic national park, and highly recommend it. The roads could do a bit of upgrading, but you know, we've had a lot of rain recently, which causes corrugations, so that might be part of that. It is a huge kind of botanical reserve. Holds something like 200 different species of plants that are found in Western Australia. Apparently 62 of those are only found in this national park. And you know, it is surrounded by pastoral lands, as we can see from the top of the West Mount Barren. So this is like a pocket, a reserve pocket for the botany and for the wildlife, fauna and flora. Alrighty, so anyway, we're going back to Bremer Bay. When we're there, we're going to have a good look over the car to make sure nothing kind of vibrated itself loose, and see if we can figure out what to do with the rear license plate. I might swing by the beach on my way home to see what it's like. Well, just before leaving Bremer Bay today, I was going to go and check out Dillon's Beach. A friend of mine recommended it to me. Just driving down the road, and about half a kilometre ago, there's a little sign saying this is the end of the Shire Road. In other words, they don't take care of the road after that point. And then So the importance of walking a route, when I got to that quagmire in the road, I was thinking about going ahead to Dillon's Beach anyway. So I walked on a little bit further, dancing around the massive puddles. There was another one shortly afterwards, of similar size, and then immediately after that there was a huge chasm in the road which was completely impassable. So it's a good job I didn't just plough straight into it really and walk the route out. My shoes are a little bit dirty now, but at least Delilah is not, and we're on our way northwest to the Stirling Ranges. After we've done the Stirling Ranges, we'll be going south to the Parongarups and to Castle Rock, where there's a really good lookout walk that's been created there up and around Castle Rock. So yeah, next couple of days should be quite interesting and full of really good scenery. So we'll catch up again when we get into the Stirling Ranges.
Next week on Jeep Roscoe.
There's the Stirling Ranges. Look at that. That's an awesome picture.